Just a minute, it is taking some time. Okay. So, good morning, everyone.
Good morning,
Morning,
sir.
sir.
Very good morning, Emma. So, what was told by your placement team was like Monday, like Friday and Saturday in the morning session. Most of the people, like 80 plus students, are there for C and data structures. That is the reason we are asked to just revise what exactly was done in the earlier classes for the morning classes of Friday and Saturday when you have CNDS classes. So actually today I thought of having a discussion on semantic tableau, but since it is a revision class, I have taken three different examples pertaining to our natural reduction system, axiomatic system and resolution. This is what it is. So what is that we are going to do in this class is very simple. We have seen what exactly is resolution and what are the steps to have this resolution, and we'll just try to execute these problems one by one. So you have seen what exactly is a natural reduction system. Natural reduction system is one of the inference mechanisms where every operator is allowed and every inference mechanism or inference rule can be applied. So you have something called as R, something called as not. We have something called as, this is a universal operator, not, and every symbol is accepted. And all the inference rules starting from addition, subtraction, modus ponens, modus tonus, all the rules are accepted in NDS. So we have a very important system called as axiomatic system, where only one symbol is allowed, that is implication, and only one rule is allowed, that is P is there and P implies Q was there. So then these two combination is the inference is Q. So we have also seen a resolution system where this resolution system will have three steps. The first step is how do you convert the statements into first order logic, and then how do you convert this first order logic into clause form, and how do you convert this clause form and take negation of the premise that has to be proved, and straight away we apply the rule by taking this type of form to have a something called as nil or empty set. So this is what we have seen for the last few classes. I request you, all of you, to solve some problems in the textbook so that you will have more emphasis and more understanding of these principles, because these principles are not only important regarding the context of your external exam, but all this will be useful even for your GATE exam as well as people who are aspiring for your research. In particularly, how can you design an NLP system based on the context of the sentence, based on the meaning of the sentence, based on the predecessor and successor of the sentence, we can understand the meaning. So obviously, how can you do that? So that is a very important AI system. So that is the reason these three systems are very important. So again, what is that we are going to do in this class is we are seeing examples of resolution. We'll also see the examples of axiomatic search. We'll also see one example of natural reduction system and just try to do as many problems as we can in this day. So summary of the last class, we have seen how do you how do you execute resolution problem? Like we have seen about the third step. The third step is how do you take the negation of the inference and add it to the premises, and you construct a tree in such a way that at the end of the day you have to get something called as empty set or null set. So three steps we have discussed, and we have taken two examples. In this class also I have taken three examples so that you can understand the concept better. So now in the next slides you have something called as what exactly we have done in this last class. Like many times this question will be asked, what are the three steps of resolution? In some textbook they say about 4 steps of resolution. In your prescribed text it is 4, but in many of the standard textbooks it will be 3. But see, whatever it may be, the rules are same. Like how do you convert the statements into first order logic is the first step. How do you convert this first order logic into clause form is the second step. How do you take the negation of the inference is the third step that you can take. And how do you construct the tree is the fourth step. So what is that we have done is all these two steps we call it as the third step. So anyway, it depends, but but the procedure is same. So many times this resolution mechanism is called as resolution with refutation. That is the reason whatever we wish to prove, we will take the negation of that. So this part is very important to get this null or empty set. So the next slide, what is that we do is we take a small example from NDS, and surprisingly this question was given for 16 marks, where it will take at most 1 or 2 minutes to solve this problem. Just see here now. Simplest problem, and the question that was asked is what exactly is the NDS. When people ask you about what exactly is NDS, you have to write all the symbols that are accepted, all these rules that are pertaining to NDS, which will infer your meanings. Like whatever 9 rules that we have studied, like we have something called as P, we have something called as negation of P, V, Q. From this both of them I will get Q. This type of rules we have studied. If you have something called as P, you have something called as P to Q, I will get something called as Q as an inference. So many rules we have studied. Like you have two statements P and Q, I can take either P or Q. I have a statement called P. Then I can add some statement like P or some Q. You can add any number of statements because you are doing only R-ing. So this is called as addition. That is called as minimization. This is a modus ponens, modus ponens. So many other rules are there. So we have to write about all the rules when people try to ask you about NDS. And then the question that was asked is very simple. How do you solve this problem? I think most of the time in when we are solving this problem is solved in the class. But because many times it was asked in the external exam, I have taken this again. So if you have some piece of paper and pen with you, just try to solve this problem and see whether the inferences that are given are right or wrong. The first inference they have given is R and negation of M, and they have given R and R and Q to R. Q implies R. So all these are possible. Just try to verify, because these NDS problems will take at most they will take 1 or 2 minutes, not more than that. So from these 4 statements, can you get this R? Can somebody unmute yourself and just tell me whether that R is acceptable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, what you said is right. R we can get, it seems to be, but from where I have to start, we need to just try to have the discussion. See, we have 4 statements where one statement is a singleton statement which does not have any operator. So I can start here. So M is involved in this statement. That is the reason I am searching for other M. So M is here. So if you combine both of them, what can be the inference that you can get from both of the statements?
Negation P.
See, what you said exact is right. This is negation of P. Since P was involved here, I am searching for a statement with respect to P. So this is a statement with respect to P. If you combine this, what will happen? If you combine this statement and this statement, what is the inference?
Q.
So what you said is right. So the inference is Q. Since Q was here and I have a statement with Q to R, if I combine both of these statements, what is the inference? Q and Q to
R.
R. So what you said is right. The R is there. So straight away I can say that R is valid. So this inference, what they said is right. So then they have asked you about two inferences. So can you see some disturbance is there? So can you join two statements by using and? See, what is that we have done till now is R is what you said is R is a valid inference. So that part what you said is right. What next part is this is valid? R and negation of M is valid or not?
Yes, sir.
And is and R and negation of M or R see is this valid or just I will write this. Just try to see R is this valid or and is valid? See, if this is valid, RV means R negation of M is valid or R and negation of M is valid. Which is valid actually?
R negation M.
R?
R negation.
Yes, what you said is right. So this is not valid. Just a minute, I will just try to have this now. This is not valid. The reason is you have a statement called as R. You have a statement called as P. Can I R or can I and? Can I R or and?
R, sir.
R or and? So what I said is wrong actually. See, this is valid. This is valid. The reason is if you remember the rules, just I will show the rules if you wish to have. See, I will just try to clarify this. Again, I will just do this. I'm just intentionally just trying to get something from you. But see here, you have a statement called P. You can add something here. This is right. So you have something a statement called as P and Q. You can take something called as P. So now again I'm coming back. So is this right? Or is this right?
First one, sir.
First one is right. So obviously, so this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is right. So my interest of taking this problem is many times this problem was given in a different type of inferences, but the interest of taking this problem is again they are giving it for 16 marks. The question that they have asked is what is NDS, and try to prove the inferences, try to prove the validity of the inferences, whether they are right or wrong. So this problem many times you have done in the class. So how do you apply this axiomatic system for this? What are the rules that are involved? Axiomatic system is a system where I can have only implication and I have only one rule of inference called as P was there, P implies Q was there, I can only get Q. This is the only rule I have to use. This is the only symbol I have to use because negation is a universal symbol that can be accepted. So from this point of view, how can I start? If you remember, I said you have some statements called as A is a statement, B is a statement, C is a statement. Then I said A to some B to A is also a valid statement. This is rule number 1. So in your textbooks it will be in the terms of alphas and betas, but this is what the meaning is. So the second rule is very simple, like if you remember A to B to C was there, if my interest is this is valid, A to B implies A to C is also a fact. A to C is also a valid fact. So the third rule is also there, but we can solve this problem with this in two rules, like the first rule and second rule. So what is interesting part that we need to see is if you have a alpha here or you have a here, you should have a here. So A to B, C to A and C to B is possible. Is the inference is right? Is the inference is right? You start from C to A, C to A to B. Is the inference is right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what you said is right. So if I wish to apply some rule, where I can apply and how I can apply, it's a trial and error method. So there is no particular rule like how can we solve this problem. So how can I start applying the rules? Like can I take, if I take C to A, if this rule was taken, how can I apply the first rule for this? If I say, just a minute. Just a minute. Okay, we'll continue this. So if I take a C to A, if I wish to apply the first rule, saying that C to A itself is alpha, then I have something like this. C to A is alpha, and then if you just remember, since C to A was taken, I can take a B to C to A. So now just tell me, I could see, okay, whether this statement I have taken is right or wrong. Is that statement is right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. So if the statement is right, and you have a statement see, I have a statement and I have a statement called as C to A. So what is the inference of these two statements? From these two, I can get this part. Is it right? Just I will try to paste here. Is it the inference is right that I got? Is the inference like what I said is you have C to A to B to C to A, and you have a C to A. So this is P, this is P, this is Q. The outcome is this. Is the statement is right? Is the statement is right? P is there, P to Q was there, the inference is Q. Is the statement is right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. But see, once you get this part, do you have any chance of getting C to B? Like, see, how can I do this is something like this. See here. If I wish to try to expand this part, what is that I have to do is, just a minute. So if I wish to continue this part, the next step, what is that I have to do is something like this. So B to A is something like B to C, like implies B to A. Just try to see this whether this is right or wrong. Just tell me. Is the statement that I have written is right? Here, I'm just circling here. Is the statement is right? As per the rule 2 is concerned. B to C to A is B to C and B to A. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what is that you get from these two statements? B to C to A is P. This is P and this is Q. So if you apply the same procedure, what is that you get is you get something called as B to C, and you will get something called as B to A. Is it right? So if you get this part as your output, can you proceed further? Because you need to get something called as C to B. But what is that I have done is I have started with C to A. So I got this part. So from this part, how do you move from one state to other state to get the output? Is there any possibility to get the output? See, two statements are given. Instead of starting with the first statement, I have started with second statement, and I have arrived at this position where from this position I cannot move because there are no other rules that can be applied for this. So what should I do now? Just a minute, I will keep something here, then you will understand better. See, what is that I have done in this solving this problem is two statements are given like this, I started with C to A and I have applied all the two rules like this, and I went to a state where I cannot move from one state to other state. So that is the reason. What is that I try to do is I take the first statement. The first statement is A to B, and I try to apply rule 1. So now if I apply rule 1, what is that I will get is A to B C to A to B. This is what I got. Is this right if I apply this first rule? I have taken A to B, and can this is valid? Can somebody just tell me whether this whatever I have written is right? See, you have a first rule saying the first rule is something like this. A, B, C are some statements, then A to B to A is valid. This is what the first rule. A, B, C are 3 statements, then A to B to A is a valid statement. That is a true, or that is a well formed formula. That is the first rule is. So A to B I have taken as A, and this formula is right. Can you see this? 72 other. See, is the rule was applied correctly here? See, this A to B, see, what is that I do is I will take other PPT, then you will understand better. See, the rules are like this. This is what your textbook says. When alpha, beta are facts, then alpha to beta to alpha is a fact. So what I said is I have taken alpha as A to B, and beta can be anything. It can be C, or it can be D, or it can be M, or whatever it may be. But in the context of A, B, C, I have taken this C. So based on this rule, is this statement is right? Can somebody unmute and just answer this? Like, can you see this? What is this called? What is this called as Word document? Can you see the Word document? I think my voice is not reaching, or somewhere some disturbance was there. Just type something here. Can you hear me? Just type in your chat box.
Yes, sir.
Can you see the Word document? Can you see the Word document? Is it S? This one? Okay. So can you just type something like whether the rule was applied properly or not? Is the rule that was applied here is proper with respect to A to B is concerned? A implies B is concerned? See, I have taken something called as A to B, and I said that A to B is an alpha. This is alpha, and this is alpha, and this is beta. Beta can be C or D, whatever it may be. Is the rule is applied? Is right? Okay, then I just proceed. So somebody said this rule is applied properly. So if I say this is statement 1, since in your premises something was given, that something is called as A to B. So from 1 and 2, if you from 1 comma 2, what is the inference is? The inference is this part, because this is P to Q. The Q will be the inference. This is the inference. So you need to understand, you need to have a perception of the second rule now. The second rule says, if you see this PowerPoint, there is something called as alpha to beta to gamma. So this is what the second rule is. So the second rule says A to B to C was there. So you can write this. So the same way, what is that I try to write is, because C to A to B was there, I can write C to A to B was given. So obviously I can write C to A, and I can write C to B. This is for this is from rule 2. That is the reason many times I'm requesting you to go through the rules and go and practice. Until unless you don't practice, it's very difficult for somebody, because once you practice, you'll have expertise more than the faculty. So this rule is valid as per the fourth statement is concerned. So from 3 comma 4, this is P, this is P, and this is Q. So you will get this part as outcome. This is what your outcome is. But if you see the premises that were given in your example, you have something called a C to A was given as a second statement. So I have written C to A here. From, I have a seventh statement here. From 5 comma 6, the outcome is so the interest in solving this problem is very simple. When you're trying to address something in axiomatic search, you need to choose the correct statement and start. See, I have started with C to A and I did not get. But once I start with A to B that you have seen now, then I have got this output as C to B. In axiomatic search, when you are applying the rules, you have to choose the corresponding statement. But if somebody asks me how do you choose the corresponding statement, whether it is A to B or C to A, it is only trial and error method. It depends upon the way in which you practice. You could find out whether C to A is better or A to B is better. So this is very important. We have seen a problem on natural deduction system, which is very important. I have seen also a problem in axiomatic system where it was given for 8 marks, and this is also very important. And then we see a resolution problem. A very simple resolution problem. If it is sunny and warm day, you will enjoy. If it is raining, you will get wet. If it is a warm day, it is a warm day and it is raining and it is sunny. And the inference is you will enjoy. But see, if you read the statements, it's very difficult to have this inference. But what is the steps that you have to do for resolution is, so you have to convert each of the statement into first order logic. So can somebody tell me what can be the representation of the first statement? It was sunny and warm. There is a small mistake in warm. Warm is WARM. You will enjoy. This is the statement that was given in your external exam. It's a simple statement. All these were given for 16 marks. So if it is sunny and warm day, you will enjoy. So what can be the first order logic representation for this statement? If it is sunny, hey, just a minute, I will ask him. Help. Yes, sorry for the disturbance. Anyway, we'll proceed to this one. So if it is sunny and you need to use something called as and warm of x. If these two are satisfied, then you will enjoy something like this. There was given something like this, enjoy of x, whatever it may be. So if it is raining, you will get wet. So rain or raining, whatever it may be, you take like this, and it is wet of x. So all the other statements are atomic statement. This statement is an atomic statement. That is the reason I can write warm of x, raining of x. If you don't write x also, there is no problem here. All these are atomic statements. The question that was given is how do you solve resolution problem, and then some example was given. So obviously this will take less than 2 minutes to solve the problem. So you have converted everything in the terms of first order logic. The question was simple, like you are enjoying something like this. So you have something called as enjoy of x or something. If you don't write x also, that does not mean, because nobody is, this knowledge is not pertaining to anybody. So the 5 statements are given. The first statement is not in CFL, so that is the reason I have to apply this P to Q. If I apply P to Q, what is P implies Q, negation of P. So what is that I will get is a negation of sunny of x will come and will become R, and this is negation of warm of x or enjoy of x. This is what it is. So this second, what is, I just highlight with this, this is in a class form, because in class form implication is not allowed. So I will convert this again into this part, like negation of x v wet of x. Just I will remove this part, there is no need. So this part is in a class form, because in class forms all these are not allowed. Like implications and all the things. This is not allowed. So obviously this part is right. So worm of something is in clause form. This is all our atomic statements. All these are clause forms. So there is no question that was given. You will enjoy. So enjoy was given. So obviously whenever you are solving the problem, you have to take the negation of enjoy here. So resolution will start with taking the negation. So I have to start with negation of enjoy. Of x. Then whenever we have negation, we try to have some statement without a negation. This was that. So if you combine both of them, I will get negation of Sunny of x or negation of warm of x. So negation of Sunny was there. There is a positive Sunny. So if you combine them, the output is warm of x, negation of warm of x was there. So negation of warm of x and warm of x, if you combine both of them, you will get a contradiction. So you are not enjoying is wrong. So obviously whatever you are enjoying is right. This is a simple example of resolution algorithm. And I just see the time, like it is just as crossed 9:40. So this is a problem that we have to take tomorrow. Like if you wish to take this as a homework, just you can take. Lavi likes all kinds of food. Apple and chicken are foods. Anything everyone eats and is not killed is food. Ajay eats peanuts and still alive, and this is a very simple statement. That's what I feel. So this problem most probably we'll do it in the next class. This I have given in the last class for practicing. This is how the class ends. So this class actually I thought of taking a semantic network, but as per the instructions of your HOD, most of the people are not there. So obviously we have to convert this class into a revision class.